Hi friends, I'm Jocelyn Peters. I'm the maker behind Mountain Song Designs, and welcome to this episode. We have quite a bit to talk about today, so let's get to it. First up is a pattern I have coming out this week. These are my Echo Lodge mitts, and look at these mitts. Can you see the lace on the thumb? It's on both thumbs. I love these mitts. They go with my Echo Lodge socks. Those came out about a month ago. Those are super cool toe-up socks, and they just were begging for a fingerless mitts version to hang out with. So I made this design, and I love this. It's finishing up in testing. It's edited, it's all ready to go, and this has been such a fun pattern. You've probably seen me talk about it already, but it's a top-down knit lace. It's mirrored on both hands, has this pretty lace going down the thumb. It's kind of hard to twist my hand. I'll put in a better picture here if I can. These come out Thursday, August 10th. And if you go to my Substack newsletter, you will find the post on Thursday that has all of the discount information that you need. If you want just the regular discount of 40% off, that's fine. It's scones on Ravelry and on Etsy. You don't need a coupon code. But if you want a better discount, you need to go to my Substack newsletter. You can subscribe so you'll always know and read all of my fun little musings each week, or just use the code. And if you are watching this later, I'm sorry, but if you subscribe, you will get the discounts for all of my upcoming designs and, of course, get all of the information about the pattern there. So that's coming out on Thursday. I am so excited about these. I should tell you the yarn. This is Mustache Perfect Sock in Lavender Apple Blossom. And the CC, complementary color, is Leading Men Fiber Arts in Showstopper on Breaking Ground. I think they look so lovely together. And of course, it's the same colorways as the Echo Lodge socks. Now, obviously, depending on what size you make and all of that, your yarn usage will differ. But with the size medium socks on about a size 8.5, 9, size 9 women's shoe, and these are the second size, the adult small medium. I got both of these out of one skein of the Mustache. So if you have a really pretty self-striping skein, or any skein, that colorway that you just love, you might be able to get both out of one. Now, disclaimer, it depends on your size, but there's a chance. So that is what I have. This is my big thing this week. Now, I have another pattern that came out couple of months ago, and it's called the Fairlea Hat. It's right here. Here is the Fairlea Hat. It's a ribbed hat. It has a knit pom-pom. And the reason I called it the Fairlea Hat is because this is sized in both, it's written for both fingering and worsted weight yarns, and it fits the entire family from about newborn up through the largest adult head you have in your family. It'll fit somebody. And this week starts the State Fair of West Virginia, which takes place in Fairlea, West Virginia. So I named it after the place where the State Fair happens because it's a place where the family goes. It's a great place for families, and I can't wait for the donuts. I can't wait. So this is also on sale. If you go to Ravelry or Etsy, you don't even need a code. It's just going to be discounted. So just check that out when you're there buying the mitts. Throw a hat in your cart and move on with your day. It's a really fun knit. all fun knits. This is a little bit simpler. It is a ribbed hat, but everybody needs a great ribbed hat with really nice decreases. I love these decreases. So that is what's going on in my shop these days, this week. Let's see. Yeah, that's it. Now, I want to share one other sort of design, but it is tea. If you follow me on Instagram, where I'm Mountain Song Designs, a couple of months ago, I think it was, I shared a few pictures of the lavender plants that I had just bought. I love growing lavender. Hang on. Oh my goodness. I love growing lavender. I also grow chamomile, and I like to dry them. The lavender does best when I hang it upside down and let it dry. I have just stuck it in a bowl and let it dry that way, and it works. It's not as pretty, but it does work. And the chamomile, sometimes I put it out on a little rack. Sometimes I will try to hang it up from the stems. Both ways have worked, but I brewed myself up my favorite tea, and I make it. I make the whole thing. I use dried lavender from my garden. I use dried chamomile from my garden. I don't need much, maybe 2 or 3 flowers, dried flowers. And then I love to slice up some ginger and throw in a half a lemon. And then I put in maybe a teaspoon of honey. We keep bees, and so we have a lot of honey around here. So I use my own honey, and it is so good. Oh my goodness. If you're looking for a tea to make for yourself, it's a really wonderful one to try out. So that's my recipe. It's, my drinkable design for the day. And, lavender apple blossom, lavender tea. It's on my mind these days. So that's it for my designs. Let's move on to WIPs. Okay, for WIPs today, you might notice if you've been watching that I'm not going to show you my Naomh shawl because it is done. And here's a picture of it. Now, I don't have it right now because it's actually at the state fairgrounds. I, for years, have entered my knitting into the state fair competitions. It's a fun thing that I like to do, and it's there right now. So next episode, I'll be wearing it and show it to you in person, but you'll have to just go with the picture for today. Now, on to my WIPs. First, I get to show you my Timely. This, oh my goodness, I have a whole sleeve. Look at that. So I got to my sleeve divide and I knit a couple of rows over and back. And when I have only a certain amount of yarn chicken, when I have a certain amount of yarn that I get to use on a sweater, I really prefer to make the sleeves first. Because then when I get to the body, I can just knit as much yarn as I have. It's much easier for me not to have to think, well, I'm not quite sure how much I need for a sleeve. I could probably do the math, but why do the math if I could just knit the sleeves first? It doesn't matter what order I do them in, so I just do it that way. So you can see this awesome fade. It's been so fun knitting this. This is Lolodidit yarn. Oh, Timely is by Libby Jonson, by the way. Truly Myrtle, I believe. This is Hippo. The light with the speckles is Hippo for Naps. And the other colorways are the minis that went with it. And then Arised on the end. I love this purple. It's on Everyday Sock. Like I said, Lolodidit. This has been a really fun knit and I can't wait. It's hard to put it down. I knit this in like 2 days, I think, because I just wanted to keep going and the next stripe and then, but if I keep going, then I get to go to the next color, So it's been really fun. working on this. I'm so excited. This will be done before I know it, and then I'll get to wear it. So this is a timely, that's where I am. I don't know that I'll be done by the next time I film, but boy, I hope I am, because I'm really excited about this. I should at least be close. Now, the next two WIPs that I have, I just cast on. They're brand new. I needed a sock that I could take with me. Do you guys have that? Do you need your knitting that you can just, it's in your bag and it's always there and you can knit on it and not really pay that much attention, maybe a little bit, but pretty much just knit? Well, I cast on Fade Into Neverland sock. It's one of my designs, Ravelry and Etsy if you're interested. Here's the sample. Super fun. This is the large size. Look at that. Aren't those pretty together? Again, Lolodidit. I believe these are Plush sock in Yeti and Sassenach. I love Sassenach. I think it's my favorite green. It's just so, I don't know, Scottish Highlands and happy, and I love it. But I'm making these, I think I'm gonna make them shorties though. And that's what I love about a toe-up sock, is that you can decide when you're done knitting the leg, whenever you're done with it. Of course you can do that with top down, but toe up, it just feels, I don't know, it feels better. Maybe it's just me, but I love making this. So, Fade Into Neverland socks. And the final one is actually a new design that I've started working on for, I dropped it, for next month, I guess. This should be pretty quick. I already have a lot of it done, but a sneak peek. Look at that color. I love that pink. It's Beauty School Dropout, Lolodidit, Low Original, squishy, soft. I love it. But you'll have to wait to see what it's going to turn into. That is your hint. Figure it out. No, not really. I'll probably show it to you next time. And I have a lovely group of test knitters on Discord. If you enjoy test knitting and you're interested in getting into that group, I post within the group when I have a new test ready to go. People say if they can do it or not, low pressure. But if you're interested, I have a Google form. It should be in the description below. It's also linked, if you go to my Instagram, go to the links in the bio, in the link tree or whatever, and it'll be linked there. Just fill it out and we can have you join us. So that is my WIPs, test knitting, and that's it. Let's move on to the next. I'd like to share with you what I am wearing. This sweater, I love this sweater. It's, oh my goodness, it's so easy to wear. Let me stand up so you can see all of it. See, it's not long, kind of short sleeves. I can kind of pull it down a little, but they usually work their way up. So it's a fingering weight sweater. It is called Lofoten Pullover by Emily of the Blue Mouse. It's, can you see this detail? It has these elongated stitches. It's a little hard to see with the deep red color, but this is an easy to wear, light. I can wear it in that middle weather. I can even wear it on a pretty warm day because the sleeves aren't especially long. It's kind of loose, so it's got some give in it, but it's not overly baggy. Now I changed it just a little bit to make sure I only needed 2 skeins. This is 2 skeins, and it's maybe around the 40-inch bust, I think. I don't quite remember, but it's Lolodidit. This is Red Wine, I believe, and this is Hippo for Knitflix. It was about the beginning of the pandemic when everybody, like, Knitflixing was becoming a thing. So I think they're both on L'Original. I know the Hippo's L'Original. I think the red wine is also. But yeah, so Lofoten by Emily of the Blue Mouse. It's a really great pattern. I really enjoyed it. She has it written for 3 colors, and you could also do it with worsted. Now I have a kind of funny story about this, a funny memory for me anyway. While I was knitting it, especially once I got to the body and didn't have to worry about increases and that kind of stuff, it was the first time I mirrored my book from my Kindle up onto my TV screen, and for the first time I read Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer. And to this day, when I think about that, I'm like, oh, well, I watched the movie. In my mind, I was reading the book, but in my mind, I was picturing it, and I was looking at a TV. So like my mind remembered it as I watched a movie. It was the weirdest thing. So like Hippo for Netflix, it's kind of this like weird memory version of that. But anyway, weird stories. So that's it for what I'm wearing. I don't have anything from my library to share with you. This is just a single one-off pattern from my library. Before I move on to the final thing, I have a question for you, and I want you to tell me an answer. I want you to leave a comment. I have been looking at all kinds of yarns and trying to discover different makers, and there are so many great ones out there. I want to know what some of your favorite yarn dyers are. I especially like fingering weight because I think it's easier to find it, but what are yarn dyers that you like? And more specifically, any colorways that are like your absolute favorite, anything like that. Please tell me in the comments below. But let's move on to the last part. Finally, I'd like to chat about one quick book that I recently read. I'm in the middle of a couple of other books, so I don't have any major books to share with you, but there was a book that I saw at the library, and I thought it seemed kind of funny, and I was intrigued. It is called The Exile by Diana Gabaldon, and it's like the opening part, or the first book, I'm not sure exactly, of Outlander, but from Jamie's perspective. It shows it a little bit before Claire comes, and then through that. But it's a graphic novel. And I thought that just seemed so, like, I was not sure how that was going to go, because I've seen Outlander, the show. I actually haven't read the books. It's on my list. Probably once the episodes are all over, the series is done, I'll probably go back and read all of the books because everybody loves them. But I was kind of interested to see what a graphic novel of Outlander would look like. And admittedly, it's not quite meant for kids, but it was tastefully done. But it was really fun to read it. I'm not much of a graphic novel reader. I don't know that I've ever read a whole one before, to be honest. So it was a little odd for me, but it was a quick read relatively, and something that I really enjoyed, and maybe I would like it if I was reading Outlander. Maybe I should get going on that. But it includes the Scottish Gaelic. And about 1.5 years ago, I decided I wanted to learn Gaelic. So I got on Duolingo and I did about a year of Scottish. It might not have been quite a year. Then I needed to start learning Spanish for homeschool, but that's okay. I probably should have learned it anyway. But it has been really fun to learn a bit of the Scottish, and it was fun to read it in the book. Like, ooh, Avraheth, I know it. Acharich, yes. So there were words that I recognized, and it was fun. And it also had the meanings of the words for if I forgot or didn't know. And if any of you are curious, that's why I always end my episodes, a lot of the writing that I do, like Substack and all that, with Slanchava and happy knitting, because Slanchava, of course, sláinte is cheers, or health, and sláinte means good health. It's what you normally say back to someone. And in my mind, because you came and you're watching this episode and you've already made it this long, you have already said health to me or sláinte to me, and I'm just saying it back, sláinte, and I appreciate you. So on that note, sláinte and happy knitting. But let me say first, if you want to find more of my designs, I'm on Ravelry and Etsy. If you want to read about the designs and other knitting related fun stuff, check out Substack. I'm Mountain Song Designs there. Etsy, MTN Song Designs, and Ravelry, Jocelyn Peters, or Mountain Song Designs. You'll find me on there. All of the links are in the description, and Instagram also, Mountain Song Designs. So, thank you for joining. Remember to comment below what your favorite yarn dyers are, colorways, all of the good things. I want to discover some more. And I think people who knit are like the best resource for that. So comment below. Make sure you have subscribed if you have not already to YouTube. And that's it for this week. So, sláinte and happy knitting.
Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads.